Greetings triathlon community. This video is something a little different to what I normally put out, but I thought it'd be nice to maybe take this one on. And since one of the words of our current time seems to be bubble, I thought I would delve into another bubble. In fact, the professional triathlete bubble. So if you're not aware, there is a big race, and I mean a big race, attracting attracting the best athletes in the world. That, my friends, is Challenge Daytona, happening in Florida on the 6th of December, and it's not going to be one to miss. Now this is a big deal because not only is this race backed by the PTO, but there is some serious prize money involved. Now, regardless of what you think of the PTO, one thing they're certainly doing is putting their athletes first, and this has been really missing in the pro triathlon world for quite some time. But this video isn't about the PTO, it's about me giving you my picks for the podium places for the men and the women. Pretty tough. The field is stacked, and I mean stacked. We really haven't had any racing this year. There's been no Kona, there's been no big races. And this is a championship, make no doubt about that, what with the calibre of athlete turning up here. This is the first time that we're going to see the real big hitters going out against each other and having a real good smash fest. What I do love about this event and the build up to it is it's bringing the best middle distance triathletes in the world, and we're also pitching in some ITU guys. There's also the long course specialists as well. We're talking 40 of the best pro male athletes out there, as well as 40 of the best pro women. But on top of that, and this is where it gets interesting, there's 20 wildcard picks chucked in there for good measure. Now, for those that don't know, the place in which it's being held, Daytona, is all pretty much confined to one arena. I think the lake is just next door. So it makes a great venue for triathlon. Now, the course length isn't your typical middle distance, but it's not far off. And I would assume that this race is going to suit some athletes more than others. Right, let's take a look at the athletes. If you head over to the PTO site, which is where this is from, you can see the current rankings list, meaning that all these top 40 athletes are the ones that have already qualified. Now, I think the only unfortunate thing is we're not going to see Jan Frodeno or Daniela Ryf because they're out due to injury, which blows this race wide open even more, in my opinion, and makes it even tougher to pick a top three. But even without those two, seeing the likes of Alistair Brownlee up against Lionel Sanders and chucking Joe Skipper, who is certainly one of my favourite racers, and I think he always leaves it out there, which is why I really like him. Then you look at the ladies. Holly Lawrence, a former world champion, and in my opinion one of the best 70.3 racers out there. There's tough competition. You've got Lucy Charles, you've got Annie Haag, I'm not quite sure how you pronounce it, but who is obviously the current long course world champ. You can't forget people like Sarah Crowley, Heather Jackson, and of course last year's winner Paula Finlay. And you do see a lot of the training that Paula does on her YouTube channel with Eric. So I think, yeah, it's going to be tough. And what about those wildcards? Well, I'm not quite sure where to start with this one, but what I have noticed is there's certainly been a British invasion over there. The likes of Johnny Brownlee, he's been given a wild card. You've got some of the ladies, Jess Learmouth, Lucy Hall, I think she's been given one as well. And then if you look outside the British scene, you've got people like Gustav Eden, who is the current 70.3 world champ, who won that back in Nice and surprised a lot of people. I'm not sure that this course suits him whatsoever. Then you've got people like Kristen Blumenfeld, great racer, you know, great run speed. It's whether he can stay out there on the bike, I'm not so sure. But then Louis Vincent, you know, he's got phenomenal run speed as well. And then the likes of people like Flora Duffy, who is a great bike rider and runner. Again, I'm not sure the course suits her because she's great on technical types of courses, and the Daytona is basically a track. So who knows there? And I mean, those few names are just the tip of the iceberg. So this is why it makes it so hard to pick a top 3. We have no idea of their current fitness, their current form, or anything like that. There's nothing to go on. So although these are my top 3 picks, they're more like stabs in the dark. I think anyone that has some experience of racing here will have a very small advantage. But ultimately, if it's your day, it's your day. Okay, so let's play this little game, right? So I'm now going to give you my top 3 for the men and the women. But what I want you to do is give me your top 3 and drop them in the comments box below. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Some of you may or may not know that I am a sports ambassador for Sundride. Sundride do some wonderful sports clothing, you know, on running, cycling, triathlon, gym stuff. I'll drop the link in the description below, and they supply me with a wonderful discount which is also in that description below. So if you do want to check them out, go over and use that code because you will make some fantastic savings. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to chuck in a pair of their running leggings. Okay, so the person that gets the closest or gets it right or whatever you want to call it, I will send you out a pair of their running leggings. If we've got a tie, I'll just do a draw or something like that. Right, so here are my picks for the women's podium. I'm going to start off with 3rd place. In 3rd place, I think it's going to be Annie Haig, however you pronounce that, I still don't know. In 2nd place, I'm going with Lucy Charles. And 3rd place, I'm going with Holly Lawrence. Am I happy with that? Well, not really, because that podium could be totally flipped around. I really don't have any idea for the women's course. I think it's harder to predict the women than it is for the men. You know, there's so many different factors in that. But that's what I'm going with, and we will see come race day. And then we come to the men. And for me, it's a toss-up between 2. And that is Ali Brownlee and Lionel Sanders. Now, in my head, I'm saying Sanders because of what I've seen him do with the hour record and all the training on his YouTube channel, and he's just such a beast. Although Ali, you just don't know with him. On his day, he's phenomenal, and I know he's due a big win. So yeah, it's a toss-up between those 2 for me. But I'm going to go with these. These are my picks. So in 3rd place, which might be a surprise to some of you, but I'm going with Christian Blumenfeld because of his blistering run speed. Now, if he can stay with the top guys on the bike, I think when he comes into that run, I think he's got a great chance of actually winning it. And if he can produce that speed, that run split of what he did a few years back in a 70.3, I don't know which one it was, Dubai or something like that, somewhere out in the Middle East, I think it was, where he set the fastest run split. I think if he can do that, then, you know, he's going to be hard to beat. But I'm going with him in 3rd. I'm going with Lionel Sanders in 2nd. And I'm going to go with Ali Brownlee in 1st. So there you have it. Those are my picks. You know what, I've debated on this far too long, but what I do know is I think the race is going to be a great spectacle, and I'm so looking forward to it. So, you know, all I've got to say is, guys, get involved, get your picks down below. It'd be really good to have some engagement on this post, and if you're not a subscriber here, do get subscribed. And you know what? I'm sure you'll hear from me on Instagram during this race, so do check me out on there and follow me over there if you're not already.